Welcome back to the vlog, and welcome here to Wewak yet again. I'm going to be taking you guys by a really cool community on the way back to Goroka. I just flew by it on the way here, and I thought, oh, that'd be so cool to show you guys, because it's a unique community here in Papua New Guinea that's out on a lake, and I haven't really seen...
TAWS system test, okay.
I haven't really seen any others quite like it before, so let's go ahead and get started and get on our way. It's about 15 minutes out there. Below start. We just shut down, so I'm waiting for my ITT to drop below 200 before I'll introduce my fuel. Watch my NG and the kid out there. Make sure that he's staying over there. Alright, generator on, prop forward. All stations Wewak. 1267 November Tango Echo, taxiing to runway 10 for departure Goroka. All stations Wewak. And brake, Moresby, November Tango Echo taxi.
November Tango Echo Moresby on.
November Tango Echo taxi, amended destination Goroka, 1 POV.
November Tango Echo second POV.
1 POV.
Number Tango Echo, traffic is India Bravo, Kodiak, meeting for Wewak, not about 10,000, Wewak estimate 58.
Copy, Sierra India Bravo, November Tango Echo.
All stations Wewak in November Tango Echo, Sierra India Bravo, 33 miles east, tracking via the coast, 6,400 on descent, Wewak, circuit time 57.
Morning, Sierra India Bravo, November Tango Echo. Now just taxiing just for Goroka, local QNH 1010, slightly favoring 10.
Good morning, thanks for the info, Sierra Bravo.
We're going to head back at like 15,000 feet eventually, but we'll take off. We'll stay low until we get out to this area I want to show you guys, and then we'll see how long it takes to get basically from 500 feet up to 15,000 or 17,000, whatever I plan to go up to. I'm not exactly sure quite yet. On the runway, flip on our strobes. We got 20 degrees. Right, if I'm not 50 knots by the next taxiway, then I'll go ahead and abort. Otherwise, we'll stay on the runway. I'll pull off and shut off if we are going off. After takeoff, pitch for 85, consider EPL, consider feather. Take a left-hand turn down to the beach if possible, otherwise we'll go straight ahead to the golf course. Full flaps 80, cut off, pull off, and shut off. And I do have now t-shirts on my website that say that, so if you guys think that's, whatever, that mantra is interesting, go check that out. Alright, ignition condition, flaps 20, fuel and harnesses is 30 degrees out. 1540 for 1590. And let's see if we can't actually get airborne by the next taxiway. 5600, so we'll rotate at 50, we'll rotate at 55. $15.40. Here's airspeed alive. There's 40, 48. Come on, you know you want to. Oh, there we go. Love flying this thing when it's light. It's so much fun. Well, let's head on up over the coastline, or not the coastline, right up this way and over the treetops. We'll stay low up there. It's only about 30 miles away. So we'll just stay low for the whole trip up there until we get there, and then we'll climb up high just to conserve on fuel. We'll keep our engine inlet bypass just because we are low. We're in the kind of the treetops where all the birds want to fly around, and that's why we have bypass in case we suck something like that in. We can bring our prop back to 2,000 as well. We're just climbing up to probably 2,000 feet at most. Turn our igniters off and our landing light. And we'll also bring our torque on back so that our fuel flow is at like 320 pounds of fuel, because we're so much lower to the sea level, the air is just going to be so much denser and more thick. So you don't need quite as high of a torque setting to get the same amount of basically horsepower or performance out of your engine. Orsby 1267, November Tango Echo departure.
November Tango Echo, go ahead.
November Tango Echo departed WEWAC, time 50, tracking 141. We'll be on climb 5000, estimating my UE 23.
November Tango Echo.
Morning, Roy. Hey, morning. I have no idea who that is. Probably a guy in Alpha November Romeo, because it sounded like his, when they click up the mic, you can hear it sounds different in those Fokker 70s. You know, as cool as this is, flying low to the ground, you get to see everything, it's really, really beautiful. What I think is even more beautiful is just flying right above the clouds. I think it's called, there's a movie called The Wilder People. As he would put it, it's a majestical. Well, let's just jump right up there. It's only another 500 feet probably above us, but it's incredible. Just scraping the tops of the clouds, nothing gets better than that.
All stations WEWAC, Kodiak, Sierra, India, Bravo, 10 miles east, tracking via the coast 2000, on descent WEWAC, circuit time 57.
Here we go. That view just absolutely never gets old. So we're up a little bit higher up. We'll throw our engine back to normal. We don't need to be in bypass right now. When we get a little bit lower up, closer up, then we'll put it back in as we drop down to around 500 feet. I wanted to tell you guys about this thing I did yesterday. I made a coffee mug with the instrument panel of the Kodiak. It turned out really, really cool. I've got it on my website on 2 different sizes, so if you're interested in checking that out, I actually want one, but because we live here in Papua New Guinea, it's just a huge pain to get anything like that here. When I get back to the States, I'm going to order myself one because I think it's just a really, really awesome idea. It's not my idea, that's why I think it's an awesome idea. I saw it on Instagram on some other airplane, and I was like, oh, that's genius, I love that idea. So anyways, yeah, go pick up your coffee mug today. So my thinking is here, let me just show you on this, is we're heading up to the Sepik River. So all this right here is the Sepik River. And right now we've got clouds all in this area. As you can see, it's all kind of broken, kind of scattered-ish, something like that. Anyways, I'm thinking once we get right up here to the Sepik River, typically, it's really weird, but typically it will just clear up and then be clear past that. I don't know if that's the case for today, but that's usually the case for the Sepik River. I don't know if you're a meteorologist, you can let me know what exactly about from that point on. I don't know. I don't know if just the temperature of the river just stops the clouds and then from there on out it's not, yeah, who knows, but it is a very interesting thing. But I really don't have any background context for the people that do live out here. I have no idea. I've just looked down over the million times I've flown to WEWAC and back and thought, oh, that is such a cool community because they live right on a lake and their houses are all on stilts, and right now it's the rainy season, so the water's quite a bit higher, so there is no land around their houses. But I've only seen maybe like one other community over in a different lake that does this kind of where they're exclusively all the way away from land. There's other ones that are obviously living around on the rivers everywhere, but this one is far enough out over the water where I just thought, oh, that's so different. So yeah, I wonder how they keep their kids from falling off of their porches into the river. So anyways, yeah, throw engine in, let it bypass. On our way down.
Mostly and all stations, we work on 126.7 Alpha November Romeo, Fokker 70 departure, we work at 0003. We're tracking 124, passing 3000, climb flight level 310.
Alright, there it is right over there. Alright, right there, right in front of me is the community I was telling you about. This is the Sepik River. It goes way, way up there, up by Moonbill. I'm taking you guys up there. That's the beginning of the Sepik River. It comes all the way down and comes out into the ocean down here. It's just absolutely massive. And it's so flat here in the Sepik that it just kind of winds everywhere because there's just not enough downslope for it to actually flow. Got boats down here in the river. Let me slow on down. Oh, they're going to be probably wondering, what is this guy doing flying around us? So, yeah, I'll keep my distance from him so I'm still legal and everything. But I do want to show you because it is a really, it's just so unique to me. And like I said, you don't see too many of this. You can see some of these little tiny side rivers and how everything is flooded. Like they don't even have a yard anymore. So all their houses are up on stilts. And obviously they eat like fish out here, and then also the stuff called sago. And I'll get into that in just a minute. Make sure I'm in bypass. I see a big hawk right there. Wow, this is the very first time I've ever actually flown by
500.
Here, so I've never flown by to take a look at it, but I've always wanted to. Wow, it's so beautiful though. Really, really beautiful here. Yeah, they do have crocodiles here as well, but from what I've been told at a couple other locations, people and kids never get bit or eaten by crocodiles. A dog and a pig may go missing, chickens, things like that. But people have never been bit, is what they say. And you'd think they'd have stories by now, but I guess they don't have a taste for humans. That is just really, really cool. Yeah, I am actually really impressed by this too, because I've always wanted to fly by here. Never had the opportunity or just never took the time to do it, but wow, that's really awesome. Anyways, if you guys want to come check this out on Microsoft Flight Sim or something, I'll leave a link on my Patreon page and we'll do the same flight where you guys can all leave a location where this actually is. You guys can come fly out here yourself and check it out. Alright, let's see. I'm going to start my timer and see how long it takes to get to 15,000 feet on my way back to Goroka. I set my ITT for 720, my props right at 2,000. Pitch up for 99 knots, which is my best rate of climb, and we will see how long it takes to get there from basically 500 feet. So engine inlet back to normal, just so we have the best amount of air going into our engine. And I'm just going to trim it out because our autopilot doesn't have like an airspeed hold. I've got it set up on heading hold, so it will connect into my course and everything, but I'm just going to trim it out at 99 knots and just keep it right there at 99 knots to 100 knots. That's going to give me my best amount of altitude and the least amount of time. Some of you guys have asked, how do you keep your cameras cool? And how do they not overheat? Well, it's 87 degrees in here right now because I'm low to the ground in this Sepik. And the ones on the windshield are the only ones that overheat. None of the other ones have ever overheated. But I do have to take these ones off. When I am flying into the sun, they overheat fairly quick. I'd say maximum 10 minutes at most. And I'll have to cool them off with my air. That usually cools them off for another 10 minutes or so. Also, because this is a non-pressurized airplane, I'll be wearing oxygen. And one of you viewers, I don't remember who, gave me the idea of coloring in a mustache on my mustachy looking oxygen thing. So I thought, that's a really great idea. I'm gonna do that. If I'm already looking like a dork, let's make it look like a major dork, right?
Everybody knows you never go full retard.
There we go. So to flip on my oxygen, the oxygen's right here. You flip it on, all your little green lights come on, and then your fault light will flash a couple times and then turn off. And then down here, I can adjust to whatever altitude I'm going. So I'm going up to 15,000 feet. That way I'm just not wasting a bunch of extra oxygen, and that's what this weird mustachy thing is supposed to do too, is supposed to actually conserve on oxygen. I don't know all the science behind it, but it's supposed to. The one thing I do notice about these is it doesn't make your nose run if you just wear a regular cannula. Your nose is always running and it's so irritating. And this, I don't know if it keeps some moisture in the little pouch, so that's helps, I guess, rather than drying your nose out. One question I thought you guys might have, because I didn't really explain it, but I said that I have it trimmed out for 100 knots airspeed rather than actually using my autopilot to hold a constant vertical speed. So you can see right now I'm just cresting over 1,000 feet per minute. So if I were to set this up, let me just show you. I've just set it in for 1,000 feet per minute, and so now it will hold, basically maintain 1,000 feet per minute. You'll see as I am climbing, my airspeed is going to just slowly lose more and more airspeed because it's trying to hold that. And the higher you go, your plane's not performing as well, and now it's having to increase your pitch even more to try to be able to maintain that 1,000 feet per minute. So then you just have to sit here and keep cranking it down to 800, and then 700, and then 600 as you get higher and higher and higher. So one way that you can get past all that and not do any of that is if you just set up your track, or you're just following your course where you want to go, and then trim it out for whatever airspeed. And your airspeed will stay the same from sea level all the way up to whatever you get to. It might sit there and just kind of oscillate a little bit as it goes. That's just pitot heat reminder. It will stay really close within just like 2 or 3 knots as you're kind of going up, as opposed to just having to sit here and keep cranking it down the whole time. So because the autopilot, you have to keep it like basically 100 knots and up. Otherwise, what happens is below 100 knots, it starts getting kind of like wallowy, and just because all of your movements from the autopilot are just so much more exaggerated, and it can't keep up. So the autopilot's just constantly trying to like fish where it actually wants to go, and it can't maintain a smooth flight. There's 200 feet more to go, up to 15,000 feet. It's taken us 12 minutes and 47 seconds so far. So I'll just keep my speed all the way up to 15,000. So it was just shy of 13 minutes to get from 500 feet to 15,000 feet. And I am empty too, so I'll let my airspeed jump up to around 130 before I start reducing my power. I'm also taking out a little bit of right rudder trim as my speed increases. Now that my speed's up to 128, I'll start reducing my torque and my ITT. So now that I'm basically over 12, 13,000 feet, I'm going to limit myself with my ITT of just 700. It's just super small adjustments to try to work your ITT down. It's a little bit easier to set your torque, but your ITT, because these are by 10s and these are by 1s, it's a lot harder to get your ITT just dead perfect. And then I can bring my prop back up to 2,000 right on. As you can see, normally we'd fly around at 1250, basically below 12,000 feet. But today we're just limiting ourselves with it's basically 700 on the ITT. We still got about 40 minutes, so I'll go ahead and pick back up once we get closer into the Goroka Valley for our descent. Right ahead of me is Mount Wilhelm. That's the highest mountain here in Papua New Guinea, just shy of 15,000 feet. I was hoping to show you a little bit more of it today, but it looks like there's quite a few clouds. We'll just peek on over there just because it's only like a couple miles off of my direct track to Goroka. And yeah, it's a beautiful day out. We don't get to see the top of this very often at this time of day. Typically it's like an early morning, super clear, and then it just piles up with the clouds soon after that. But yeah, it is 14,793 feet, according to this chart. Well, on really clear days, this mountaintop is absolutely incredible. Like the tree line stops around 12,000 feet. Then above then it just gets really jagged, at least for here in Papua New Guinea. Not jagged in other places, but it is still pretty jagged though. Nobody lives up there. Just really cool. I've done a couple of videos flying around here earlier in the morning last year. You can go check that out if you guys want to see what it actually looks like on top on a nice clear day. Well, there's a couple of lakes up here. I don't think we're going to be able to see them today. We might just get like a half a second glimpse of them today. But yeah, we'll see if we can see them because they're pretty awesome too. Let's see, the top is right there, or actually right over there. Head over to the left a little bit more so I can actually see out my window a little bit better. My side window.
Echo, Goroka Tower 1180. H117.
Reading is shrink 2, but I think you said 1017 for Goroka, contact tower 15 miles. No, November Tango Echo. There's the lake right there, at least one of them. You can see the waterfall going down to the other one. That's what I was telling you about. That is cool. All right, on to Goroka.
Vertical track.
Is Betty let me know? It is now time to go down, I think. Well, let me just see. I'm gonna set it up for, I wanted like 1900 feet per minute. Not quite. We'll stay up just a little bit longer. It'll save a little bit more fuel right when we get into the Goroka Valley. That's when we'll start going down. I've got it set up for 1800 feet per minute. Wind she'll remind me, but by the time I get everything set up and tuned in, it'll probably be closer to 2000 feet per minute, but that's fine. Before I start heading down, I might as well start up my checklist, my fuel selectors. I'm going to turn it back on now. I've had it off for a while because this plane doesn't like to burn the fuel very evenly. And my brakes are good and stiff, that's good. I believe our TAW is enabled for now, our VREF. We're 5,300 pounds, so 62 knots is the slowest that I could come in. Lights and inlet, we'll go ahead and flip our light on and throw inlet into bypass. If we have to go around for any reason, it's power up, 20 degrees of flaps, pitch for 73 knots, maneuvers required and reset ITD 740. If you guys want to get one of these, if you're a pilot and you want to get one of these for yourself for either a piston or a turbine, check out my website. I should have them on there by now. Super handy. Covers all your main items for takeoff and landing, critical items that will, kill you if you potentially don't do them. Well, not all of them will, but items that you have to do. Maybe it had like landing gear or something like that. Goroka Tower, November Tango Echo. Start on down now.
November Tango Echo, Ryan again.
Vertical track.
November Tango Echo, 16 miles to the west-northwest, left 15,000 on descent. Your circuit 01.
November Tango Echo, runway 35 right, wind light in feeble, QNH 1017. I'm so good left downwind, I'll report again left downwind.
1017, track report left downwind for 35 right, November Tango Echo. Now that I'm increasing my speed quite a bit, I'm going to be taking a lot of right rudder pressure out, or think of it this way, just putting a lot of left rudder pressure in, just so I can stay coordinated going down. Turn my altitude select all the way down to pattern altitude 6,100. Puts a nice little mark on there to let me know if I'm going to get there when I want to. So it looks like 1850 to 1900 is going to get me right there, just absolutely perfect. So what I can do is put my autopilot on, and that way I don't have to sit there and figure it out all the way down. To reduce my power just a little bit. I like to keep my airspeed within like really no less than 10 knots of my maximum operating speed, which is 182. The reason being is just because if I look down and I'm not paying attention to that, I don't want to overspeed the aircraft. I also do have like a 14 knot tailwind, so that's just going to push me in a little bit quicker as well. Take a left 3 or 4 degrees to the left just so I can enter into my left downwind a little bit nicer. So I'm actually entering into like a midfield instead of kind of like a beam the numbers. Also, as I get closer, I'm just 4 miles now, I'm going to start reducing my power, start slowing me down so that when I actually do enter into the downwind, I can start getting my flaps in and actually configure how I want. Push the prop forward. Harness, that is done. Goroka Tower, November Tango Echo, joining left downwind, 35 right.
November Tango Echo, runway 35 right, clear to land.
Clear to land, 35 right, November Tango Echo. Another nice thing about this is you flip your thing for your landing clearance, because sometimes you might get it here, and then you fly your whole pattern, and then you're like, oh man, crap, did I get my landing clearance? So, that's another nice thing about this. Sensor beam the numbers below 120, we'll go 20 degrees of flaps. Turning base. Some of you guys have asked, why do I always land going this direction regardless if there's a tailwind and stuff? It's because this is a one-way airstrip. It doesn't look like it, but it is 3% slope. So it's a one-way airstrip coming in, which also messes with your visual coming in. Just the 3%, you wouldn't think it would, but yeah. It always looks like you're high here, but you're not. You're always coming in low. Full flaps, checklist is complete, turning final.
$500.
Really nice morning. It's 11 a.m. now. Doesn't get much better than this here in the Goroka Valley.
Goroka Hotel Charlie Alpha South of beam, not above 8,000 for Kodiak.
Hotel Charlie Alpha, and sir, will you go to estimate now, taking?
3 knots tailwind, continuing. I'm just coming in a little bit faster today. 4 knots tailwind. Couple of birds.
(1201) AUA19 at the Kodiak and Hotel Charlie Alpha, not above 8.
This is my only flight, so we'll do flaps all the way up. My trim set up for tomorrow morning's takeoff. Thank you guys for taking the time. Hope you guys really enjoyed that little sightseeing flight. I did, that's for sure. I've always been wanting to go by that little community for a while, so. If you guys aren't already subscribed, be sure to subscribe if this is the kind of content you guys enjoy watching. I've got a video out every Sunday and Thursdays. So yeah, give the video a thumbs up if you guys did enjoy it. And welcome to Goroka. Button down, we'll turn off our blowers, all of our lights, auxiliary bus, generator, alternator, our V2 tracker. Thanks again, guys. See you next time.